Hey guys, it is me, and we are going to do part 2 of my favorite movies. Even though some are going to be holiday in this one, so we're going to get started. I did put these in order of year, just like I did with part 1. First off, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1964. Alright, next up, The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer. So there's only 3 60s and 3 70s. So this is the last 60s one in this video, is Frosty the Snowman from 1969. I'm going to get the Blu-ray of it next year because unfortunately I'm not going to get it on Blu-ray this year. First up is The Godfather, starring Al Pacino and Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, James Caan, and Robert Duvall, and Diane Keaton. Yeah, Diane Keaton passed recently, back in October. In 1973, Enter the Dragon, starring the late Bruce Lee. Okay, this is our last 70s movie in this video. It is The Godfather Part 2. That's like one of the longest movies I've ever seen besides Malcolm X. Yeah, The Godfather Part 2 and Malcolm X are like the longest movies I've ever seen. Ever. And then here is E.T., the Extraterrestrial. So, okay, that's the only 80s in this video, and now we're going to go to our 90s. So this one is The Godfather Part 3, which is the final film in the trilogy, which came out in 1990. We got Beethoven. This is my favorite movie dog. We got The Little Rascals. I do have its sequel, The Little Rascals Saved the Day. Well, I'm mostly more of the first one, but and then Casper. So we got 2 of them from 1995 in this video. And Babe. This is my favorite pig. Babe. Alright. And then 1996, we start with Independence Day, starring Will Smith, and it's THX certified. Right there on the spine, and then it's on the back as well. This is one of my all-time favorite Jim Carrey movies. It is Liar Liar, starring Jim Carrey. This also stars Jennifer Tilly. Alright, and then The Saint, starring the late Val Kilmer. And then, now we go to more of Tom Hanks, which is Saving Private Ryan, which also stars Matt Damon and Tom Sizemore. Oh yeah, also Vin Diesel is also in it too. For some people that doesn't know, Vin Diesel is also in Saving Private Ryan. And this is our last one of the 20th century. It is The Green Mile. This also stars the late Michael Clarke Duncan. Oh, also stars Sam Rockwell, who voiced Mr. Wolf on The Bad Guys. And then we start with 2000 is Castaway. This is directed by Robert Zemeckis. And then How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey as the Grinch and directed by Ron Howard. Yep. Here we got Osmosis Jones, starring Chris Rock and Bill Murray. Here's Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks. It also stars the late Paul Newman. And then here's another one from 2002. It is Catch Me If You Can, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, respectively as Frank William Abagnale and Carl Hanratty. And then The Terminal, another Steven Spielberg film. I am such a big Steven Spielberg and a Martin Scorsese fan. And then here's our last Tom Hanks movie in this video. video, it is The Polar Express. Also another Robert Zemeckis movie. Robert Zemeckis is also another favorite director of mine too. And here we got Ray, starring Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles, the singer. All right, we have another Jamie Foxx movie. It is Miami Vice. It also stars Colin Farrell, and it's directed by Michael Mann, who also directed Heat with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Val Kilmer. He also directed Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, and he also directed Public Enemies with Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. And next up we got is I Am Legend, starring Will Smith as Robert Neville. And all right, we have another Jamie Foxx. It is The Kingdom. All right, and that's all of our 2000s. Now we do the 2010s. This is Shutter Island, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. All right, we got Green Zone with Matt Damon. So we got Contraband with Mark Wahlberg. Here we got Ted. This is the very first Mark Wahlberg movie I ever watched. All right, and here's another Mark Wahlberg movie. It is directed by Michael Bay, who also directed Transformers. And it's also with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Oops. Oh yeah, this also stars Anthony Mackie, Ed Harris, and Tony Shalhoub. All right, here's another Martin Scorsese. It's The Wolf of Wall Street, again starring Leo DiCaprio. So we got two more left from 2013. Two Guns, starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. All right. And our last Mark Wahlberg movie in this video is Lone Survivor. All right, and our last one is from 2017. It is Sleepless with Jamie Foxx. That'll be it for part 2 of my favorite movies, and I will see you in another video.